Blog Talk Radio.
Hey, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Ray, the video guy, and today our episode of Video Marketing Madness is made possible by Aweber, the easy way to do email marketing. If you want to learn more about doing email marketing, then head on over to raythevideoguy.com/Aweber. And on today's episode, we have a very special guest who is actually on her way to NASA as we speak. Her name is Melissa Krivachek, and I hope I said that right. Is that correct, Melissa, by the way?
No, it's not.
Good job, Ray. When we got on before the show started, that was the first thing I was going to ask you, and I totally forgot to do it.
It's Krivachek.
Krivachek. All right, there we go. And she's going to talk to us a little bit about what she does. So let's hit it. Okay, let's do the jingle.
He's Ray the video guy, yeah, Ray the video guy. His skill is where it's at, even if he's a little fat. He's filled with video expertise and has so much knowledge that you need. His YouTube ninja tricks can make your marketing so sick. He's Ray the video guy, yeah, Ray the video guy.
We're going to have all kinds of background noise today. Melissa's in a car with 4 other people driving to NASA. And Ray started the dishwasher right above his office, and it's not done yet. So if you hear water running, that's why. It's like the world's longest dishwasher. It's been going for like hours, I think. Yeah. He started at 6 this morning, Mountain Time. It's the Online Marketing Radio Show, Video Marketing Madness with Ray the Video Guy, and I'm Steve Sleeper. You can like our Facebook page at facebook.com/Video Marketing Madness. Get plenty of useful tips and news of the week. We're live Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern. You can join the conversation at 818-369-1423. Ray's video marketing tip of the week coming up at the end of the show. And for this week only, we're going to do news of the week at the end of the show because Melissa got called into a meeting at the last minute, and she's heading off to, she's on her way to NASA to do rocket science marketing. So, but she helps small business owners accelerate their growth and make additional revenue. And she's published a number of books. Hi, Melissa.
Hey, Steve. How are you?
Oh, pretty good. I can't complain.
That's small businesses such as NASA.
Such as NASA, yes. She works with small businesses such as NASA. Yeah.
That's not true. That's not true. I actually do work and focus primarily on small and medium-sized businesses.
Nice.
And then NASA.
No, actually.
So that whole rocket scientist thing comes to mind, Melissa.
Yep. So jokingly and more or less seriously, I actually did date a rocket scientist for a year.
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
Cool.
Things just never took off? Yes, it's the online show about cheesy jokes and
jokes.
No, they took off so much they went abroad.
There we go.
So my wife married a rocket scientist as well.
Yeah, his name.
Actually, she dated one, then she married. Yeah, I'm a rocket scientist. Yeah, so, but you're a success coach. Now, why are you going to NASA? What's the deal? What's up with that?
So we're just visiting. Actually, I'm not actually going to work with them. Basically, 5 of us got in the car. We're out couch surfing, and we don't know each other, and we're gonna go do some stuff together.
Nice. I see. Well, that sounds like an adventure. Melissa's adventure.
Absolutely, that's what this trip is all about.
Melissa's excellent adventure.
So Melissa, we're going to jump right in with you here just because we know that your time is short today. But I wanted to start off by talking a little bit about, now you said you work with small and medium-sized businesses, and so what types of services do you provide, first of all, just so we get a kind of an idea of that?
So one of the most important things is that we focus on where their revenue is leaking out of their business and fix those holes. Most of the businesses I work with do over $1 million in sales of some sort. It doesn't matter what industry, but they're always either lacking in sales or their presence online and offline is not as visible as it should be, which creates a credibility problem, and it also creates obscurity problem. So when you're obscure, you're losing money every single day.
Nice. And then that would lead into another question that I would immediately go with on that. Based upon working with these, do you find that there's a common reason that this happens, or does it tend to be a little scattered and different for everybody?
It depends on the industry, but really each individual's mindset is what drives the business. So if a person's mindset is messed up because of whatever reason, personal or professional, it's going to affect the business and the bottom line.
Yeah, exactly. I read a book one time called I think it's called The Energy Train, and I'm classic for reading a lot of books and not remembering what I read, but the gist of the book was, you got to have people that are positive about what they're doing and treat people right, remember the golden rule and stuff, and so that's so important, and you find with a lot of business that people kind of let their baggage out just a little too much, or what do you find when you deal with a typical business?
It depends on the business itself and the industry. So, a person could be going through a loss, or they could be depressed, or on the flip side, they could be incredibly successful, but at the same time, they still want more out of their business, and that's generally what happens with every single business I deal with. So they could be making, $5 million, $10 million, $100 million. It doesn't make a difference. The reality is that they are losing money because they're at this point in their business where they don't have enough clients. They're not filling the sales pipeline. They are lacking in just creating credibility in the marketplace. And that in and of itself is really just hurting their business and the community they work and live in.
Okay. Our guest today. Now I'm gonna attempt to pronounce your last name again because Ray butchered her. Our guest is Melissa Krivachek. Did I say
you got it?
Okay.
Wow, nicely done.
Yeah. I grew up with a lot of Polacks and Czechs and Bohunks and stuff, so I know how to say that. I really know, and she helps small business owners accelerate their growth and make additional revenue.
Now, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about one of the things that you do. You're both a coach and a speaker, and I assume that when you're dealing with small businesses, that means you're doing a lot of motivation. I know a lot of the people that listen to this show, they want to get into that area, the coaching area, the speaking area. So could you tell us a little bit, how did you break into that circuit?
Well, I wrote 3 books in 2014. 2 became international bestsellers. That was a result of having a boyfriend that went to work abroad, the rocket scientist.
Oh, the rocket scientist. Okay. All right.
Yeah. So he went to work abroad for 4 months, and I started writing. And then after that, I asked Les Brown if he would contribute to my 3rd book. He did, and then we are going on tour together. And, I've never met Les, but I'm actually in Orlando and going to meet him tomorrow. I have talked to him twice for a matter of 4 minutes, and the reality is that you can reach anybody you want. You can have a relationship with anybody you want as long as you use the power of social media to do that. So that's how I did it.
Nice.
I didn't need permission. I just went ahead and made my own success.
Now, I based on that, I do have to ask you one very important question, though. Are you meeting him at a Gladys Knight chicken and waffle house?
I have no idea yet.
For those of you who don't know, that's his wife is Gladys Knight. So.
No. His wife is not.
What?
Not,
they're not married anymore, are they? Oops.
No.
Sorry.
Like 2 decades ago, I think.
So he's not a pimp anymore.
He's not a
sorry.
pimp.
Oh boy, that's too bad.
Well, I knew he was married to her, so sorry, Les, if you're listening, and I'm sure you do. I'm sure you listen to the show. So
well, maybe you could meet him on that midnight train to Georgia.
Oh, you guys.
Yeah, we think we're funny. Nobody else does, Melissa. So don't worry about it. So.
Yeah. So to take a step back and to get a little serious for a minute here, going back, you mentioned you had a couple of international best-selling books, and I know, like I mentioned, with a lot of the people in this audience that like coaching and stuff, they also like to write books. Typically, they're writing books that are, Amazon Kindle books and things of that nature. But you've written, quote unquote, sorry folks, real books.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, what was that experience like to become an author, and how did you get your books out there to become a bestseller?
Well, one of the most important things that I did is I created a team that surrounded me that knew what they were doing. So I went and hired Tracy Haynes from TL & Haynes and Associates, and he knows about the publishing world, and he has actually worked with presidents before. And so that kind of support will get you further than anything else. So I recommend that whatever business you're in and whatever it is that you want to accomplish, you go find somebody that's going to support you that already has success in that area.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't be trying to do it yourself, because to be an expert takes 10,000 hours. That's like 10 years, and that's way too much time for you to spend trying to figure out how to become a bestseller.
Absolutely. No, that's very good advice. And how did you find the whole book writing experience? Now, you said you had some free time. We had to do that, but how difficult was it to get through writing that first book? Because I know many folks, that's their biggest thing is, where do I start? How do I start writing this book?
Well, the thing is that you just start. You don't procrastinate. You don't wait. You literally open your laptop and start writing. And I did the entire book writing process backwards. So I would just say, don't worry about what you're going to write about, because you can figure out the order later. And I wrote 2 of my books in 56 days. So, they hit shelves in Barnes & Noble, Amazon, and everywhere else. January 15th and February 26th of 2014.
Tell us about the 3 books. Give us the titles and tell us what's in it.
I love these titles, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the first title is called Be Ballsy, How Not to Suck at Love, Success, and Happiness. And it's basically what the title insinuates, how not to suck at love, success, and happiness. The second book is called Be a Baller, The Blueprint to Have It All, and it's about how to build successful businesses and 25 qualities and traits you should have as a successful entrepreneur. And then the third book is called Bold, Helping You Unleash the Hero Within, and that book is a compilation of multimillionaires who have literally gone from nothing and built their business into $1 million+ businesses, some of them generating revenues as much as $500,000 a month.
Wow. Amazing. Sort of like Ray. Is Ray Lane in there? Cause
he should be.
Yeah, because he should be.
He'll be at volume 38.
Yeah. So
right.
He's Ray's a footnote. Me too. So the 25 things an entrepreneur is supposed to have, the traits. Talk about some of those, if you would.
Well, charisma, trustworthiness, respect. You should listen. Meditation, love. Those are just some basics, and all of this really come back. Your personal life leads into your professional life, and your professional life leads into your personal life.
Yeah, absolutely. And some of the millionaires that you talked about.
Mm-hmm.
Who are they?
Well, there is Les Brown, Barbara Pender, Tracy Haynes, James Scholes, Marcy Locke, Jeremy Wilson, Joe Muirhead. These guys are actually all in very different fields. Mm-hmm. Sarah Spiker, she was a NCAA basketball player, and she is now marketing for businesses online. Nice. So Nicole Teves and Molly Welch, they are in LA, and they are basically working with very high-end coaches. And it doesn't really matter what industry you're in. You have the ability to tap into more of your potential and to make a bigger impact as well.
Yeah, and did you meet all those people through social media?
I did. Some of them I've never met in person.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what, guys? 99% of my clients I've never met in person. I have clients in 8 different countries.
Well, in this day and age, you can do that with Skype and GoToMeeting and Google Hangouts and Join.me and whatever, You can consult people all over the world. And Ray and I, how long did we work together, Ray, before we actually met face to face? I mean,
probably 2 years.
Yeah, 2 years, and we finally went to a conference out in L.A. and split a room, and Ray found out I talk in my sleep, but other than that, and snore like a freight train. But he put up with me. But yeah, I mean, this is an amazing day and age where you can work with people, have great relationships with them, and maybe not meet them face to face. I mean, if you've got a customer in Thailand or whatever, how often are you going to fly over there to meet them? So
yeah, you're not. Well, I don't think you should have to.
Yeah, well, especially
it's really funny. So I actually won an award recently from the National Council of American Executives, and it's for being one of the top 1% of executives in the U.S. in 2014. And I actually run my business out of my apartment. And so I look across the street, and there's actually a $2.6 billion company across the street. And I think to myself, those guys have the increasing overhead, the cost of hiring people, the cost of firing people, the cost of training people, and all these other costs associated with business. And some of that could actually be eliminated if we were to just take and focus on what we could do online.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. So, is the 3 books then? Is that what launched your career in this? Were you doing it before? Tell me about that.
Yes. So I was coaching for 3 years, but I was not on the speaking circuit. I just recently got on the speaking circuit. So I went from coaching, which is what I'm really good at, to writing, which is what inspires people. And if people can't afford me, then that's a way for them to actually get advice without making a huge investment. And then went on to speaking. And so, I do all 3 of those on a regular basis, and videos are a huge part of that, because you can take, for authors or anybody else, you can take a piece of your book and create it into a video, or you can take a quote and put it into a video. You can take whatever and put it into a video.
Nice. Well, we like that. We're very interested in anything video related. So
that's why Ray is Ray the Video Guy. And that's why the name of the show is Video Marketing Madness. We're kind of into this video thing. So
because we're mad. We're crazy.
We're crazy. We're crazy. We're crazy, Melissa. And I can say your last name. I can say Krivachek. Isn't that cool?
It's good to be crazy.
It's good to be crazy.
Now, let me ask you this, because now we've got a dog in here to add. When you talk a little bit about kind of the mindset earlier on, and that's something that I've really started to focus on over the last 2 years or so, and I'll be completely honest, before that, I used to kind of think, that's a bunch of crazy nonsense. Come on, all these guys making money telling this witchcraft. But, I mean, I've really found that it does make a huge difference to be in that right mindset. And what I'd like to ask you as a professional coach, what do you think is the biggest thing that holds back an individual from succeeding? What is the biggest mindset change they need to make?
Well, this is a 2-part question. The biggest thing that holds them back is themselves. The biggest change they need to make is to surround themselves with the right people.
There you go. That's the biggie.
So the number one thing I tell people is if you could hold yourself accountable, you'd already have everything you want, right?
My biggest issue is not holding myself accountable. My biggest issue is surrounding myself with the right people.
All right.
That's always been it. Not now, but I just like to help people. You just got to learn to say no.
I totally agree with you.
Yeah, you just got to learn to say no, and that's tough to do sometimes.
And I will say that actually is an issue for me as well. Not so much because I surround myself with the wrong people, but I live pretty remote, and I'm pretty much a hermit, which is not a good thing.
Yeah, same here.
But it's something I'd like to improve upon, and sometimes it's difficult to do that out here, but we'll figure out a way.
Of course, there are advantages of having the heart of a servant as well. I just what I've learned, Melissa, is if I have a good respect for the person, then it's going to work out. if I don't have any respect for them, even if I like them, but I don't have respect for them in the sense that what I'm trying to help them with, they're not good at it, and I don't respect them for that portion of it, even though I like them. It's just not going to work out, and I got to say no. So that's what I've learned.
That is a difficult part of it, I think, and I think that's something we all need to learn as much as how to do things properly and how to set ourselves up is how to say no to people when it doesn't fit our single motivating purpose. It just draws away from what we're doing. So I think that makes sense.
Absolutely. So saying no is extremely hard, but you'll find like the most successful people in the world say no far more than any other person or people.
Yeah.
So you just really have to hone in on no, this isn't going to help me with my purpose in life. So, find somebody that can or invest in something that will.
Amen. Yeah. I don't disagree with that. Not at all. So are you guys at NASA now? Did you pull in?
We just arrived, yes.
All right.
Beautiful.
Well, I could do yours paying for parking.
Said hi.
Yeah, you got it.
Now, one last question. There's rumor of a TV show involving you, and what are the rumors of what can we make of that?
There are.
I thought I saw something on the website. I gave Ray some show notes, and I put TV show ? Next to it.
Okay, well, I guess I can't say anything about that, but it's a possibility.
Oh, okay. Well, it's on the website. I thought, geez, I didn't smoke any pot this morning. I don't smoke pot at all, but I like to joke about it. It sounds funny. You say pot or dope, anybody always gonna laugh. So
the show is a combination between Marcus Lemonis the Prophet and Donald Trump's The Apprentice.
Oh, nice.
Oh, we like that. I've just started with The Apprentice this year, and I've gotten hooked very quickly.
You should buy a NASA jacket.
That is awesome.
So what is your now? How do you like Donald Trump's comb? How do you think he does it?
Well, I would just say you're fired.
Yeah,
there you go. Beautiful.
That's a silver.
All right. Well, Melissa, we know you're at NASA, so we won't keep you any longer, but I do want to thank you for coming in here and talking a little bit about what you do and the mindset and how important that is. And if anybody wants to learn more about you, where can they head over to learn more about your books? And
she's outside.
Yeah, you guys can go to BriellaArion.com. BriellaArion.com.
And I'll put that in the show notes. So, hey, Melissa, thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Thanks so much for having me.
Okay.
All right. Good luck with NASA.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Well, there we go. That was Melissa. Now I'm going to Krivachek.
Yeah, you got it.
Got it. Melissa Krivachek. And again, if you couldn't hear that, I know she started to get some wind noise there, but it's BriellaArion.com, BriellaAarion. And there you can check out her books and learn more about her. So it was good to hear that. I mentioned in there, Steve, that mindset has become such a big thing for me, and I wasn't kidding when I said I used to kind of think of it as like crazy voodoo stuff. Tony Robbins was just some snake oil salesman type thing, but I've really learned that these guys, they know what they're talking about. It makes a lot of sense, and when you practice it, it actually works.
Yeah, I did. There's a couple things that I picked up from all this. I mean, one of them is, the guy that started it all, Napoleon Hill, where he talks about have faith in what you're doing. And
absolutely.
And the way that you have faith in what you're doing is a mastermind group. Have people, and Melissa was talking about this, work with people that already know what to do and be a sponge and pick that up and then just emulate that.
In fact, I saw it again the other day online. It was the old line of, look at the 5 people closest to you, add up their incomes, divide it by 5, and that's probably what you make.
Yeah.
And that goes with everything. You know, if you're with 5 broke people, you're probably going to be broke too. If you're with 5 rich people, you're probably going to be rich. And it's all a matter of what you do and who you motivate yourself by and who you put yourself around. And it can make a huge difference in what you do, not only in just opportunities, but in mindset. And I think that, a lot of this mindset stuff really can make a difference. I practiced it last year, and I mean, the amount of change that I saw in 1 year, to me, was staggering. It was absolutely staggering.
But think about it. You can control what you can control is you. Okay, you can't control other people, but what you can do is control those thought processes. So if you find yourself thinking about something negative, just stop doing it. Just say stop it. And focus on the positive stuff. I know some of this sounds like new age crap, but but I found that does work. And the other thing that I found myself doing the last 5 years is just kindly ridding myself of people that suck the energy out of me.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. We call them time vampires or social vampires.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And I've just had to get rid of those people. Some of them I just don't have anything to do with anymore. Some folks, who I still have to run into, I'm friendly to them and everything, but they just don't occupy any space for me.
Sure.
They've got some issues, and I mean, that's their problem. I just can't do anything about that. And I got enough. I got enough of my own problems. It doesn't mean that I don't have a heart of a servant. It doesn't mean I don't want to help people. But if I get into a situation, and this is applicable in a sales situation, if I get in a situation and some guy's just got too darn many issues, you know what? I'm not a licensed therapist. I just got to move on.
Right.
And there's enough people out there that got their head screwed on right and know what they're doing and have a good outlook on life, and those are the people I want to work with. So.
Oh, absolutely. There's nothing worse than an overly negative person to just suck the life out of a conversation or a room. So.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just don't complain. Well, I complain a lot to my wife, but she's not listening, so it's okay. But if you don't have something nice to say about somebody, don't say anything at all. It's actually better for your mindset. It really is. Just don't let them occupy any space.
No, that's right. Don't give out real estate in your mind.
Yeah,
is the big thing.
Love your neighbor. Remember the golden rule. Look out for yourself. So yeah, it was nice having her on the show today. I think originally this week she was going to be in the office, and something came up, and she got called out for a consulting gig, and then today they've got sort of an off day, so they decided to drive out to NASA. So I appreciate her making time for us, because
yep, absolutely.
There's a lot of folks at her statute that would just say, I don't think I'm going to do it, and her comment was, out of respect, I'm going to make myself available, but just be aware I'm going to be in a car. And there's going to be a lot of noise. No,
it really wasn't too bad. The noise wasn't bad or anything. I think the dog sneaking in here was worse than car noise. So
yeah. I was thinking, man, what are you doing to that dog?
No, my wife got home.
Oh, okay, all right.
So the dog was in here with me and flipping out because he knew that she was there. So
yeah. Oh, my dogs. Anybody shows up at the door at all, it's like Katie. Yeah. Katie bar the door. I got a lab and a beagle, and they just go nuts. So.
That's the way it works sometimes. All right, let's hit some news of the week.
Yeah, okay.
In reverse.
Moving right along.
News of the week.
Google results for car insurance could look different very soon. This comes from Search Engine Land. A new report from an analyst at Forrester points to signs that Google is finally getting ready to launch its long-anticipated comparison site for car insurance.
Yes, I've heard a lot about this list.
Yeah, and actually the story itself is on the Facebook fan page, which is Video Marketing Madness, Facebook.com/Video Marketing Madness. If you want to get the whole story, and they got screenshots of it, which the story will make more sense if you look at the screenshots. But it's not clear when Google will debut its car insurance comparison tool in the United States. They tested it in the UK. But Forrester expects a California pilot to launch in the first quarter of this year with subsequent rollout to additional states. The entity Google Compare Auto Insurance Services Incorporated has the go-ahead to do business in more than 25 states after learning from failures in the mortgage rate and banking sectors in the States and successes in the UK. And basically, if you look at it, it compares all the insurance companies. It's kind of like Progressive, I guess.
Yeah, it sounds very similar, or Lending Tree, but for insurance, that kind of a thing.
Yeah, it looks pretty compelling.
So it should be interesting to see now that they're starting to personally get into specific businesses. It'll be interesting to see how they work that out. So there you go.
Yeah. Yahoo achieves its highest search share since 2009, and they're saying that was because of them being the default search engine in Firefox. Highest U.S. search share in more than 5 years, according to StatCounter. In December, it was 10.4%, a jump from 8.6% in November. And it seems to be at the expense of Google, 77.3% to 75.2%. And they're still dominant. Bing increased too, but not as significant as Google, 12.1 to 12.5%. So this article says, and this is search engine land, it says it was due to them being the new default search engine provider in Firefox. And then they have a story the next day, search engine land, the next day. Report, Yahoo search losing Firefox users who switch back to Google. And it comes from StatCounter.
Oh, boy.
They said they may lose them. A lot of people are switching back to Google when they get Firefox.
Yeah, well, that doesn't surprise me, but I can see why both of those stories would be in existence. They're going to get more out of it, but they're also going to get a lot of people that are switching. But, hey, that's okay. Give people a chance to check it out, right?
Yeah, well, exactly. But what it sounds like is they got a blip, and that blip may not last. Who knows?
I think it will last, and the reason I say that is because most people I don't think care either way.
Yeah.
I think there's the more discerning web people will have a favorite that they have, but most people it's just search and they don't they don't even notice or care. Me, for instance, when Bing used to do that Bing challenge, and you'd go to their web page and you'd do a search and decide which one had better results, I picked Google every single time.
Did you? Okay, all right. Well, and the reason Bing's got the shares that it does, we talked about this before, and I think this might be anecdotal, but you buy a new PC, it comes with Internet Explorer. The default search engine is Bing. If you're older, Grandma and Grandpa, talking about people my age now, I never thought that ever happened, but my age and older, they don't care. Okay, right. Internet Explorer, Bing, fine with me. I don't care. I want to talk to the grandkids on Skype. I want to surf the Internet. I don't really want to get too sophisticated. So that's where a lot of Bing's market share comes from, that 12% market share, which is, that's a decent market share.
Yeah, for something like that, I think it is. I think it's, something that, in the past was absolutely dominated by one company, and now you've got at least a little bit going to another company, and if you add Yahoo in, which is technically just Bing with Yahoo's logo on it, you get even more. So it's, Google's going to stay in that 75 to 80% range, I'm sure, for a long time. But it's good to have alternatives out there.
It's good to have alternatives out there, but the reason Google is so dominant is because of not only the algorithm, but everything else they offer you. All that stuff you get for free locks you into Google. I mean, YouTube,
right?
Google Docs, it's good email. I don't know what else. Lots of others. Google Drive. I mean, you don't need Office on your computer. A lot of the schools have gone to that. That's how my daughter does all her schoolwork, is some sort of Google Drive account at school.
Sure.
It's a decent Word, Excel, and Power. I think there's a PowerPoint in there, although they mostly use Word.
Very
Excel.
wimpy version, but they do have a presenter program.
Well, and these kids are mostly using Word to type their papers. That's probably where 90% of it's getting done at, and works fine for them. So,
indeed.
Okay. Search engine watch. Google Translate update challenges Skype translator.
Okay.
Google has plans to add real-time automatic speech transition capabilities to its Translate tool in a move that would put it in direct competition with the Skype translator. According to the New York Times, the additional functionality will be rolled out in Google's Translate next update. Google had originally touted the service in 2010, but it's taken them longer to develop. The Skype translator offers only English-Spanish translations, two of the most spoken languages in the world, and it's going to add some other languages in the future. Google Translate doubles that. Oh, wait, no.
Wow.
I didn't read for text messages sent via Skype, the service can instantly translate them to and from 45 different languages, and then Google Translate doubles that. Even obscure ones like Welsh.
Cool. So all of my Esperanto friends, I can send them some messages now. That's good.
There you go. So, I thought that was a rather inane story, but interesting nonetheless. Wouldn't you say?
Yes. Oh, definitely. I think it's just going to bolster communications, especially as, some of these other places. I'm sure that people in France are a little sick and tired of everything being in English,
Yeah, well, yeah, especially the French. So that I just thought that. You got any news of the week, or?
I actually do not at the moment. I've been so busy over the last few days that aside from the Patriots winning, I really don't have any news.
Yeah, the Pats are looking pretty good this year. We'll see.
I don't know. I think they've been looking pretty lucky. They haven't been looking really good the last couple of weeks.
Well, yeah. I mean, they got lucky with the Ravens.
Had a few issues of late, so we'll see where it goes. I think they'll do okay against Indianapolis, but
they should. And the Packers got lucky against the Cowboys with that Des Bryant pass being called incomplete.
Well, the way I see it, and Patriots kind of ran into that same issue. They did an interception, ran it for a touchdown, and then they called it back. Which would have changed the complexion of that game and not made it into a last-minute win either. But the thing is I find it hard to believe that a team that's letting 31 points get on the board against them is going to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, well, true.
So they really got to work on that defense because it's that's kind of scary.
Well, I think Seattle is the odds-on favorite to get to the Super Bowl and win it. But
I think they're definitely at least the favorite to get there.
Especially Aaron Rodgers has got that calf injury. And, I doubt he's going to be a heck of a lot more mobile than he was last weekend.
As they say, there's a reason why they play the game, though.
Yeah, you just never know. I mean, I would have told you Oregon was going to beat Ohio State for the national championship. So I was kind of surprised. It's that first drive they looked like Oregon. Then the rest of the time it seemed like they couldn't do anything. So.
Well, There's always next year, I guess, especially with this new system.
Oh, Nebraska's got a new coach, Mike Riley from Oregon State. So
Indeed.
well, we were not ranked at the end of the year, 9-4, and we were not in the top 25. So,
well, always next year.
There is always next year. Yeah, there is always next year.
And actually, I actually do have some news here for those wondering, and I actually released a video last week, but once again, YouTube is on the move, making some changes that are driving a few people crazy, and not necessarily in a bad way. They've actually made some good changes, but change always seems to cause issues for folks. And the in-video programming that's become so popular, they have changed once again.
Ah.
Yes. So for those of you who don't know what in-video programming is, it is the branding tools that they have built into YouTube that allow you to put the watermarked logo in the corner that turns into a subscribe button, the branding intro, which is a little 3-second, typically an animated logo that you can put in front of all your videos. It's also the place where you could feature one of your videos on your other videos to drive some traffic. Well, what they've done is they've actually gone and they've broken that out into 2 new categories instead of having just in-video programming. In fact, I believe the term is completely gone now. I don't think it's even being used at all. They actually have 2 sections now, one called featured content and one called branding. So if you are looking to put your logo on there, you'd go to that branding section now, and inside of there you'll be able to do that, and you'll be able to add your branding animation logo intro if you have one of those, and you'd go to featured content to feature one video across your other videos, and they've actually moved into there a program that they used to have, again, used to be elsewhere, and they've moved it in there, which is the ability to have a commercial for your channel. So essentially one video that represents your channel that YouTube will actually use to promote YouTube in general and get you some views. So they will actually, it's almost like running an ad, but completely free. So they've added that in there. And the exciting thing, of course, for me on that is when they break that up into 2 new pages and 2 new sections like that, there's a lot of empty space on those pages. And to me, that says they're probably planning on adding some new features.
Oh.
We will keep our eye on that. That's my speculation only, but we will keep our eye on that and see what happens. But once again, they're on the move. Don't worry, they haven't changed the entire format of the site again like they did twice in a year back last year, so, or the year in 2013. So everything else is pretty much the same. They're just kind of relabeling things, and so it'll drive you crazy at first, but it's all for the better.
Now, didn't you have a video on the change?
Yes.
You have a video on the what was it called? In video? It was called in video.
Yeah, it was on these changes to the in video program. That was released last week. So.
And you had that in the mastermind group. I haven't had a chance to take a look at it, but I'm going to watch all the videos tomorrow. And then I know Daryl Eves had one on the free TrueView, I think is what he called it. You can.
Yeah, and that's the one that I was just talking about, which is that commercial for your site. So that's that actually rolls right into that same deal. So it's just in a new location, but it's there for you to use, and you really should use it.
And I'll post those in the notes after the show. But if you want to watch the videos, that being said, they're in the mastermind group, which is different than the fan page. Ray's mastermind group is facebook.com/groups/online video marketers.
Yes.
And
and another thing too, as long as we're kind of talking about features, another feature that they actually added, this is a little while ago, but I'm always surprised that people don't see this. You can actually double the speed of a YouTube video now. And like I said, that's been around for a little while. But in the past, we had to buy third-party software to be able to do that. But you can actually watch YouTube videos at normal speed, 1.5 speed, 2 speed, things like that. And it's actually right in the player itself. You hit that little cog, and it'll give you the option to choose the speed. So if you're training and that guy's talking a little too slow, you can speed him right up. Learn in double time. And I do it all the time, and it sounds crazy at first. You'll get used to it very fast, and you'll learn at twice the rate. So, check that out as well.
Yeah, that's a good one for me because I love training videos. Actually, training videos make me sad. But so if I can speed them up, that would be good. You know, I've got a love-hate relationship with training videos. I love them in that it's a great way to get trained on new stuff. But with my ADD, it's a little difficult to,
Yes.
Keep looking out the window. So, speeding them up would be good.
I agree. And like I said, I used to have a software that did it for me, but, now you can do it right from the YouTube videos. So very, very neat feature to have. Yeah,
well, there's some new YouTube stuff. What have you been working on? What's been your big affiliate product that you've been selling?
Well, that it's funny you ask that. The big thing I've been working on a few different things because we've actually had a lot of interesting products that have popped up over the last week or two, and two of them that really seem to be making a storm one is Easy Video Sales Letter, and it's a very simple to use software that takes a script, brings it in, creates slides, allows you to time your voice to it, and create a video sales letter in literally minutes. And, I had somebody ask me yesterday, well, I can already make these things, is it really worth it? Does it just save time? And I kind of laughed because I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what it is. It just saves time. I've done video sales letters for ages, and I can tell you, for me, it's a pain in the neck because, you'll create your slides in whatever program you're using, whether it's PowerPoint or Keynote, or whether you're using Video Maker FX or Explaindio or something like that, or doing it right inside of a program like Final Cut or Premiere. But the problem is, you got to create these things, then you got to record your voice, then you got to put your voice in there, and then you got to retime all your slides, and programs like Explaindio and Video Maker FX will allow you to capture your voice along with the slides. But it's kind of a pain in the neck to do, and quite frankly, I never quite get it right. So then I have to take the video, bring it into Final Cut, retime everything, and it's not easy. It just takes a lot of time to get it down for something that you look at it and you're like, that should be a 5-minute to create video, but it takes forever because you're doing that. And this really does turn it into a 5-minute to create video. You literally take your script, bring it in, it'll make the slides automatically for you, bring in your voiceover, and then you just put markers in, and it adjusts all the slides, and you're done. So it's a very simple and handy little program specifically for creating video sales letters.
Cool. And what's the name of it again?
Easy VSL. Easy VSL.
Okay. All right.
And I've liked that a lot. And the other one that I've been playing with is from our guest last week, which was Jack Hopman. And he has the local theme jack. And I actually just started today to actually really check the product out and use it myself. And, of course, ironically, I said, well, let me, because I knew how it worked, and I'd kind of played with how it worked, but I wanted to really create something useful with it, put it out there and see how it did and kind of test it that way. And I was like, well, what am I going to put it on? Am I going to buy a domain? Am I going to, just put it on a domain I own just for the fun of it and see what happens? And what I discovered, and it's funny because every time I go into my account, I always discover that I've got all sorts of domains that I've forgotten about. And one of them was a domain for Layton dentists.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
I said, okay, here's our candidate. Well, I said, okay, I'm going to install WordPress on there because there was nothing on there at the time. It was one that we had bought and used a little bit back in the old Traffic Geyser days. We actually used it for one of the Traffic Geyser lead gen sites, and that was years ago. Mm-hmm. It hasn't been used since, and it was just empty. I installed WordPress on it, and then I tried to go to the site, and it keeps telling me that the server isn't there. So I spent the morning, after doing some other things, I spent the morning trying to fix that instead of using Jack's product. So,
but local theme Jack, it's an easy way to build robust websites. It's fantastic.
I mean, I said last week, and this is totally true. when I said that Jack was going to be coming on, I actually had people email me and message me on Facebook talking about him. Oh, he's so great. This product is so great. He takes care of people. And, the product really is. It's unbelievable. Yeah. And, we did a webinar with him yesterday, which, if people that went to the webinar will know this, and he talked about why these websites are effective and what you can do to make, even if you're not using this product, what you can do to make your website effective. And it was somewhat pretty, in the world of SEO, it would probably be considered a pretty shocking statements that he made.
Oh yeah.
He's right, and he's been testing this for a couple of years and had huge success. So it's not theory, it's not, it's what he actually did and what's worked, and it's very easy to do. So we've been very excited with that product, and I look forward to talking with Bluehost when I get off here to figure out why I'm not able to get to my site, and then once I do, I'll install it and test it for real and see if we can see how we can do with ranking. So,
well, we had good stats on our show last week. We had a number of people listening live, and a number of people call in with testimonials, which was I think kind of a first. Maybe when Tony Hayes was on, we had people call in with testimonials, but that was pretty cool.
Yeah, we've had people call in with questions before, but to have people call in just to say, "Hey, Jack, I love your stuff," is pretty interesting and pretty telling, I think. So. Yeah.
So, and you had your best year ever as Ray Lane last year, didn't you? Doing affiliate products.
Oh, absolutely. By a long shot. We're talking about 200. Well, I was going to say overall about 250% increase, but on the affiliate marketing side, it was probably more like 500 or 600% increase. I didn't break it down that way, but it's just a great year, and I attribute it to the stuff we talked about today with Melissa, which is mindset, and not only mindset, but just having goals and preparing and knowing what you want to do and then doing it. Mm-hmm. So, and I just hope I can keep myself as motivated this year as I did last year. So.
Yeah, well, but you're doing what you love. I know you love doing that,
On most days, yeah.
Most days. Well, yeah. We all have our days. There's no doubt about it. One thing that I've been doing that's worked out as a great foot in the door strategy is buying little dogs and having them bark in the background. No.
Yes.
Yeah. I've been, for cold calls, I've been standing up a little review video for them and getting it on page 1. And, I've got a little formula for doing it that it's the combination of Explain.io and PowerPoint. It looks pretty good. And then, hey, just talk to me and I'll let you have the video. I'll just give you the video and I'll show you how we can take it to the next step. That's worked pretty well. We had somebody on the show that recommended it. For the life of me, I can't remember who it was. But
well, I can tell you, Corey and I used to do that sometimes.
Corey Vandenberg?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Where I just pull out the phone and record him, saying how great somebody was, get it on page 1, and in the old days, we used to do it. I remember we were trying to work with a chiropractor, and we were going to meet with him at like 2:00, and at noon we just shot a video, got it on page 1 by noon when we met with him, or 2:00 or whatever it was. So literally, 2 hours later, it was on page 1. Boy, those were the days.
Oh, those were the days. Well, what I do and what I'm selling is primarily what I'm doing is selling David Sprague's reputation marketing program. Our buddy Courtney Kostelucky bought a I don't know, what is it, like a franchise or a seed or something. It's more like a franchise. I don't know if they call it that, but David gives you everything you need to do the reputation marketing program plus the sales training. And so, I send out emails every day, and then I cherry pick ones I want to go after as well. I send them a letter with the report, and then I follow up and try to get them on the phone. And this is part of the getting them on the phone strategy. If I can find a good review, and I'm going after mostly attorneys that either have no presence online other than a website or have bad reviews or both. And I'm sending them the report, but as part of my foot in the door strategy, if I find a good review, then I'm making a video for for them. And it's it is non-competitive keyword terms like reviews for the ABC law firm. I mean, you can get that on page one.
Well, the thing is, that's a huge. I know people sometimes think of that as, it's a just kind of an easy throwaway keyword, and it is an easy keyword usually, but it's not a throwaway.
No, it's not a throw. That's a good point, Ray, because 80%, 70, 80%, I forget the exact number. I refer an attorney for you. For whatever you need an attorney for. You call up your buddy Steve, and I say, well, go to John Doe Law Firm. He's great. Well, 70 to 80% of the folks that get a referral like that are going to check them out online.
Oh, absolutely. Ranking for your name in review, your product in review, and that's a big thing. And like you said, it's usually fairly easy to do.
Yeah. So. And now the only thing I have noticed is that on my initial contact, I'm not talking about the video because you get a little bit of Google bounce. So what you don't want to have happening is saying, hey, Google reviews for the law firm of John Doe, and there's nothing there. So I do give it a couple of weeks so the Google bounce works its way out, but I'm getting those videos on page one, no problem.
Yeah, and they tend to stick.
Yeah, and they
not to, so.
After the bounce, and it seems like 25% of them do the bounce thing. Why, I don't know. I have no clue.
Well, I'll tell you why that is. I mean, what Google wants to do, and this is the case with almost anything when it comes to ranking, is they want to provide the searcher with what they're looking for, and one of the ways they do that is, when you search, best dentist, and there's 10 results on page one. If the number 3 guy keeps getting clicks, well, he's probably going to move to number 1 because it's what people are looking for, and the one that gets no clicks might get bounced out and something else will come in. But when you're talking about a local business and the word review, you're not talking about a huge number of people necessarily all the time, and so things are going to bounce around like crazy because Google's not getting any signals, or very few. And it takes a long time for them to get signals that, hey, this is the proper content, because there's just not thousands of people searching that and clicking different results. So that makes it difficult, and that's why I think that those types of things tend to bounce a lot more. This is just not enough data for them to stick things. So,
but I tell you, I am using Tony Hayes' YouTube Live Commando, creating it as a live event. I'm doing some backlinks. I use the Social Bookmark Commando. I do some stuff in OnlyWire. And then I'm buying $5 worth of views with Google.
Yeah, I mean, to me, that's a very effective way to do it.
And the customer service is outstanding. I had some questions. And, I'm just a little guy. And the customer service is outstanding with AdWords, I found.
I'll tell you, I really wish, and Google, if you're listening, and I'm sure you are, I really wish that you would do video ads for Google itself.
Yeah.
I would pay you to put my video on page one.
Yeah.
Now, the only problem with that is it depends on, I shouldn't say it that way, because then they'll say, okay, we'll let you pay to put your video on page one, but it'll cost you $700 a month. I don't want to see that. I want to see, just pay $5 to promote a video on Google as well as YouTube. And I think that would be a big benefit. I don't know how that would work, but I think it would be nice to be able to do that.
Well, the only thing is with YouTube, they got so much excess capacity they're trying to fill. They're happy to take your $5 there,
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, for one of the products that we just did, I ran some ads. In fact, I should probably check them because I gave it a nice high number. Not because and this is something to think about too, because I know this has worked in the past with AdWords, and I'm trying it with YouTube as well. If you tell YouTube, I'm going to spend $50 a day, but because you're targeting certain keywords, there's never going to be 50 clicks on it in it, $50 worth of clicks in a day. But you tell them you're willing to spend that much money.
Yeah.
They're going to do their best to get your ad out there above other people's ads. And you still might only spend $5 or $6 a day.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. I mean,
But
that's
you have to, you have to be careful because if they can, they're certainly going to spend your $50 a day, and if you don't make it back, you're not going to be too happy. So,
well, and in that case, it's important to do your targeting, your
absolutely
geographic and demographics and keywords. And what I have found is that targeting by interests not so good. Which typically psychographic data's never been that good anyhow. No matter who's doing it, whether it be Axiom or Google, it's really not all that good. But if you target by keywords, you have a better chance.
And I find that makes it a very, very easy way to get things going is with the keyword, because it gives you exactly what you want. You're not just trying to go after certain people and hoping. It's like, hey, they're searching this keyword, I want it to show up. I mean, you can't get more precise than that if that's what fits into what you're doing, of course, and sometimes it doesn't. But
well, yeah, it just depends what you're doing. Now, in my case, I'm just trying to get it ranked in Google and have it stay there, so I don't do any targeting at all. I just hit the promote the video, link in the video manager, and take it through my AdWords account and tell them I'm going to spend $5, and it can be anybody watching it. That's fine with me.
Yeah.
And I'll get 5,000-6,000 views. It's showing 5,000-6,000 views, but maybe they watched 20 seconds of the video, and so I'm not getting charged for it. So it's really a good deal.
And like in the case I was just talking about, I just popped mine open here, and I told them I'd spend $50 a day, and in 2 days I've spent $12.
Yeah.
So, it's just that there's not that many, and I always kind of get a laugh out of it because they tell you, I got the estimate on this particular one. Oh yeah, you'll probably get between 500 and 1,000 views or whatever, and it's like, I'm getting 20, 30,
Well, but you develop an intuition for that the more orders you place. I mean, that's just bound to happen.
I always laugh about that.
Oh yeah,
and it did. It showed up in front of people. One of the videos showed up 600 times. Another one showed up 250 times. Mm-hmm. But the great thing is with the keyword is they search the keyword, it shows up. If it's not what they're interested in, they're not going to click on it, and therefore you're not going to spend money. And and the people that do click on it, they're already searching that keyword. Clearly, that's what they're looking for, and they click on it. They're much, much more likely to purchase. So there you go.
The only thing I probably need to do, and I need to express this warning, is I need to go back and look at the analytics on those videos and make sure I'm getting views in developed countries. So, otherwise I may need to target it down.
Yeah, and I do. I limit the countries as well. That's one thing that
I haven't been doing that. But at the end of the day, I'm getting my videos ranked, and so far they're sticking. It's a new strategy that I've been doing for 3 or 4 months.
Well, and that's the thing too to mention, to think about as well, is if your goal is, hey, I just want to get more views and just pay them to do it, then why not leave it open to the other countries? Who cares? It's, maybe you'll still get a few sales here and there, but at least.
That's not, I'm doing business to business sales. I'm actually trying to get the guy on the phone. It's a foot in the door strategy. And then the other thing I do is somewhere along the line, after I've been sending them letters, and I use direct mail a lot, but I don't use mass mailings. I hate cold calls. I am scared to death of cold calls, and I'm going to be 60 years old this year, and then that's not going to change. Okay, when you get to be my age, you go, okay, I am who I am. And that's all that I am. But what I find by sending them a letter, it's not a cold call anymore, and I've got a certain level of confidence. Am I tricking myself? To a certain extent, probably, yeah. But it makes me confident in making that call. It does slow down the sales process a little bit, but it doesn't otherwise work for me, so that's what I do. But I start off with a high impact letter. I start off with a letter and a report in a 9x12 envelope, and then I just send them letters after that, the number 10 envelopes, and I do anything I can to gain their trust. And those YouTube videos, if they've got a good review out there, that's a good foot in the door strategy. But the other thing I do at some point, and this is all intuitive, I reach out to them on LinkedIn and try to connect with them. And I've got a message that I got from the folks at Social Migo that, hey, I'm just trying to build my my network. I'll never spam you. I won't abuse this privilege of you connecting with me. And if there's anything I can ever do to help you, let me know. And that's all I do. But if you see that they connect with you and you haven't been able to get a hold of them, that tells you something. Just tells you they've been busy, and to keep trying. So.
Well, there you go.
So that's kind of working out okay for me.
Excellent.
Excellento. Hey, do you have a tip of the week, or George?
Well, of course I do.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Well, hold on. Let's get
and
there. We go. Tip of the week with Ray, the video guy.
Yes. So the tip of the week today is actually, it's in an area that we've kind of touched on before in the past, and that deals with editing graphics online. And we talked about some programs a few weeks ago that allowed you to do, nice, simple things like remove backgrounds and whatnot. But the one thing I wanted to bring up is there's been a few changes on a site that I used to use quite a bit called Pixlr.com, Pixlr.com. Now, Pixlr, I didn't realize at the time, is actually owned by Autodesk. And for those of you who don't know what Autodesk is a high-end design company. They create AutoCAD and things of that nature for designing 3D. They've also jumped into more traditional design, purchasing programs like Maya for 3D modeling for movies and TV shows and things. So they've got very, very high-end video and design products. Well, I didn't realize they owned Pixlr.com. They purchased it actually a couple of years ago, but now they've really started to say, hey, this is Autodesk Pixlr. And if you go there now, Pixlr.com, you'll notice that they've actually added some new online products. So not only do you have the Photoshop-like Pixlr editor, they've actually got Pixlr Express online, which allows you to do some kind of cool little things with your images. They've also got Pixlr-O-Matic, which allows you to add all sorts of effects, and a program called Pixlr Touch-Up, which allows you to put those finishing touches onto your photos. And they also have a version for your mobile device. So you can actually pick it up on there as well and do some image editing on your mobile device. And, of course, all of these things are free. Cool. So we like free. So check it out at Pixlr.com. And as a comparison, there's also one called Sumo Paint, which also has an online Photoshop-like program. And that also works very well and is one that you can use for free as well. They also have a downloadable version that you can use. So there's a lot of very cool programs for, you don't want to spend, your $10 a month on Photoshop or your $600 on Photoshop. Well, here you go. You can actually come in here and use Sumo Paint or Pixlr.com to do, Pixlr and Sumo Paint, the Pixlr editor, they actually look like Photoshop. If you know Photoshop, you can use this, and you'll be very comfortable with either one of these programs. It's amazing what you can do for free using these products. I don't necessarily recommend you opening a Photoshop file with a lot of Photoshop effects and things like that, because they're not going to work inside of there. But for creating from scratch or for some basic graphics that you want to touch up, these are fantastic programs. So there you go.
And it's sumopaint.com and Pixlr.com.
Yes, indeed. Pixlr.com.
Pixlr.
Pixlr.
I'm somewhat dyslexic today. I don't know what the deal is. Just having issues. Okay, all right, that's cool.
So there you go.
And Photoshop's all online now, isn't it? So you don't have it on your computer anymore. It's all cloud-based, isn't it?
The programs are you still download them and put them on your computer, but they're connected through the cloud. Okay. And the cloud program will allow you to do automatic updates and download the other programs and things of that nature. I don't believe they have an online version, although I say that, and who knows, they might now. But yeah, I've got the cloud, and you just you click a little button on your desktop and you can download programs and updates and all sorts of things. So.
Oh, my wife's a graphic artist, and she was telling me about it, and she doesn't like change, so she was gnashing her teeth about it. But then after that, I didn't hear anything. I've never heard her complain about it. So
yeah, and they sync. You can sync files and things of that nature. There's a lot of things you can do. Personally, I use it like I always did, just like your wife does. So.
Yeah. Well, and you've got good graphic arts ability. I've seen some of your images. They're good stuff.
Why, thank you.
Yes.
That's how I started out, believe it or not.
As a graphic artist?
For television.
For a television station. Okay. I thought you started off as a videographer, but it was a graphic.
No. Actually, I started off as I was a videographer, but my first real job in the industry was as a graphic designer for television, animation, and TV news graphics, things of that nature.
Oh, cool. I didn't know that. Learn something new every day.
Indeed. In fact, a great story I love to tell about that is I got my first job in television working for a station in Providence. Mm-hmm. It's Channel 12, which at the time had just turned to a CBS station after being ABC for years and years. And, they said, hey, we want to do this. And it was some sort of animation thing with 3D animation and everything. They said, can you do that? Yep, I sure can. And I had no idea how I was going to do it. I told them, of course we can do that. And then we figured it out, and we did. I think we did a great job. We made a lot of cool stuff. So
there you go. Well, it's the online marketing radio show, Video Marketing Madness with Ray the Video Guy. I'm Steve Sleeper. Our guest today, and she was on at the beginning of the program because she was traveling, but Melissa Krivachek. She helps small business owners accelerate their growth and make additional revenue.
Indeed.
How do you say her website? BrielleArion.com?
Briella Arion.
Briella. Oh yeah. Okay. There's two ways.
Briella Arion.
Yeah, we'll have that in the show notes. And today's show made possible by
AWeber, the easy way to do email marketing. Check it out. Learn more at raythevideoguy.com/AWeber.
Oh, I love AWeber. I don't know what I'd do without them. They're so easy to use too. And you can like our Facebook page at facebook.com/Video Marketing Madness. Get plenty of useful tips and news of the week. That's the radio show fan page. If you're not a member of the mastermind group, that's a good way to get your questions answered and your videos watched and all kinds of other things. Find out what the latest and greatest is from Ray the Video Guy. That is facebook.com/groups/online video marketers.
Yes.
So, okay. Well, hey, Ray. Sounds good.
All right. We will see you all next week.
Yep.
Until then, remember that everything we talk about works, but only if you do.
That's right. And we're going to take out the show here with the Ray the Video Guy.
He's Ray the Video Guy. Yeah, Ray the Video Guy. His skill is where it's at. Even if he's a little fat, he's filled with video expertise and has so much knowledge that you need. His YouTube ninja tricks can make your marketing so sick. He's Ray the Video Guy, yeah, Ray the Video Guy.